The environment on Earth is slowly changing and it's not for the better. Earth is slowly becoming inhabitable for us humans. So the question is, do we stay and fight against climate change, or do we just leave to another planet and hope that it's better there?
Today we're going to discuss whether, due to the impending catastrophe that is global warming, humanity may need to work to adapt and overcome this obstacle, or if things get really bad, leave Earth altogether. Now, there are many ways humanity could stay in our cozy planet and fight this global threat, such as optimizing the use of more green energy, sparing the use of fossil fuels, and other harmful tools to combat pollution.
The other option is, of course, leaving Earth to try and colonize other planets for our survival. We may try to search and inhabit other planets so we can stop our own extinction. This radical idea has been thought and wondered about for a very long time. Many major space organizations have tried to visit other parts of space to see if we could discover and progress our world.
We will discuss both scenarios, including the advantages and disadvantages, whether or not they are realistic and manageable, and the best possible choice for humanity.
Global warming is a catastrophe humanity has to face. But how dangerous really is climate change? Let's first discuss what the future entails if humanity ignores this issue. Ice caps and glaciers would melt, causing sea levels to rise, causing many islands and countries to possibly sink in the ocean. This would result in the deaths of many innocent civilians. Global warming also affects nature and plants. And when plants are affected, this will leave a huge impact on the food chain. A lot of our technology would probably also fail, such as power plants, as they are heavily affected by the environment. Overall, millions of humans and animals will die, causing mass chaos and conflict in the world, and our options are to fight it, flee from it, or just ignore it.
Throughout history, people have adjusted to changes in the climate with varying degrees of success. Climate change, drought in particular, has been at least partly responsible for the rise and fall of some particular civilizations. Earth's climate has been relatively stable for the past 12,000 years, and this stability has been crucial for the development of our modern civilization and life as we know it. Modern life is accustomed to the stable climate since our civilization has built onto it. As our climate changes, we will have to learn to adapt. The faster the climate changes, the harder it could be. According to the 2014 report for the IPCC, United Nations, governments are also getting better at adaptation. There are plenty development plans that could combat climate change. How to manage the increasingly extreme disasters and their risks, how to protect coastlines from flooding, how to best manage land and forests, how to deal and plan for reduced water availability, how to develop efficient crops, and how to protect public infrastructure. Although there's a chance for all of these procedures might fail, then there is a surely high risk of human extinction in the long future. That being said, what is the final plan us humans can do so we could further prevail? Abandon Earth and adapt to another planet.
Due to the delaying disaster global warming could cause, we may choose to inhabit other planets in general. Of course, we can't inhabit any planet. We have to find planets that have the capabilities for survival. They would have to have serviceable weather and climate, sustainable food and water source. Whether or not we could reach them, and of course, optimal gravity. Unsurprisingly, not many planets fit these conditions. Now, the most known habitable planet is Mars. Mars is known for being similar to Earth in regards of size, gravity, weather and climate, etc. Humans nowadays are trying to find ways to inhabit Mars, but due to the cost, distance and overall risk, we haven't made much progress. Of course, all sorts of space agencies such as NASA, SpaceX, ESA, etc. have started investigating that planet. Humanity hopes to put humans on Mars by 2023, but one can only hope. Now, not only planets are up for consideration, one of Saturn's moons, Titans, might also be habitable as it has been found to possess the needed elements for life. It's a big contender for the biggest habitable areas of space beside Mars. It has a thick atmosphere, and there could be available oxygen, and even though it's cold at approximately minus 180 degrees Celsius, due to its very thick atmosphere, we would only need to wear warm clothing rather than pressure suits. Its gravity is similar to Earth, meaning with proper gear and safety, we could actually fly. So far, we have only been thinking of possible habitable areas of space that exist in our solar system. But what if we told you that we have found a habitable planet that actually exists with another star, specifically Proxima Centauri, the closest star to our Sun? Meet Proxima b, a planet that exists in the habitable zone of its star. Upon further examination, scientists have found that this planet contains many of the needed requirements for us to survive, such as the possible chance of water. The atmosphere has also been investigated. The result specifies that under certain conditions, a chunk of the planet may actually be habitable. We don't fully understand this planet, but there is hope for its habitability. Of course, these aren't all the possible habitable parts of space. Scientists have theorized that there are approximately 500 million planets that have the chance to be habitable in our galaxy, though further research is needed for confirmation. Obviously, we can't just send all of humanity to space. The most probable scenario is that only a small number of humans will travel to another planet and hope to populate it. Now, the real question is, how early will humans decide to move against global warming, as the number of humans who could die will vary greatly, but it's almost guaranteed millions will die. Traveling to other planets is far-fetched, but may very well be possible. This will take a lot of hard work and money, but maybe, just maybe, we have a chance.
We truly believe after much research that adapting to Earth is the better choice. Choosing to stay at Earth and fight global warming and try to stop it is better than us deciding to go and colonize another planet that we mostly have very little information about or have very little idea about. Even if we really knew about the planet and we were 100% sure that it was habitable, there are too many negatives that would outweigh the positives of traveling. So, traveling to another planet and trying to repopulate isn't easy. It's very risky and not to mention costly. For all we know, by the time we try to leave Earth, it would already be too late for us. And in reality, it's a much safer and wiser choice to try and fight global warming. We already have plans and strategies to try and reduce the effects of climate change, even if slightly. Adapting is also much easier as we know what lies in Earth and we know what's happening in Earth. But we really have no knowledge or very little knowledge of what's going in the outer world in space. We could try to do both, but in reality, trying to adapt and fight global warming is probably the best and the preferred choice. We, as humans, must try to combat this issue that we have caused for the sake of our Earth.